What's up, guys, and welcome to an episode of Dark Horse Rowing. Today, we're going to talk about the fact that the CrossFit Games just announced a freaking marathon for CrossFit athletes. I have no idea how this is going to go or how athletes are going to respond. The longest thing that we have ever seen in CrossFit Games competition has been a 2K into a half marathon. Nobody ever thought that it would go over that, let alone double that, and just go full-on marathon. I mean, we are talking like 2 to 3 plus hours with a time cap of 4. This is gonna have some serious consequences, and it's gonna be a real interesting workout. Not interesting to watch, interesting simply from a grand perspective, but let's get inside and let's check out what is gonna happen in this workout and how these athletes should be handling it. So today's video is actually brought to you very perfectly timed by my friends over at Extreme Endurance and their product Fuel 5. Normally, I don't do sponsorships and endorsements. However, this product just kind of lines up perfectly with the component of this where we need to talk about nutrition, because one of the 3 main pillars that athletes should be thinking about is really solid nutrition. And I've broken that down in this video for a caloric burn based off of general body weight and pacing, so that athletes will know what kind of caloric burn they're going to experience, as well as how to supplement that. So this post, again, brought to you by Extreme Endurance. They're an amazing group. I've been around them forever. I've used their products forever. And I think that the Fuel 5 product is perfectly timed for this. It has both fast and slow burning carbohydrates. It's meant to be drank during a workout. And when we get to the nutrition piece, you're gonna see why that's really critical and important. So thank you to Extreme Endurance. Go check them out, xendurance.com, and check out that product Fuel 5, because I think it is going to be perfect for something like a marathon or a half marathon row. Now, let's get into the analysis of what this is gonna be. Let's unpack it. I have 3 main tips for surviving a marathon row. Whether you're a CrossFit Games athlete or whether you have an erg in your basement and you erg before your kids wake up, I'm not sure you're gonna get an erg marathon in before your kids wake up unless you start at 2 in the morning. But the point being, I've got 3 primary tips that you need to focus on in order to be able to survive a marathon row, especially if it's not something that you've been training a whole long time for. So let's get into what that is. And number one, the single most, I'm basing this off of a poll that I just ran on Twitter, asking people, by the way, if you don't follow us on Twitter, at Dark Horse Rowing and at Shane Farmer, the poll that I ran was asking what people thought was the most prevalent thing to pay attention to. Number 1 that came out for everybody, and so this is what I wanted to address first: butt comfort. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Butt comfort. There are a number of ways that you can address this. However, if you are not thinking about protecting your behind when it comes to this workout, I think you're seriously missing out on an opportunity here. Think of this as roughly 1,000 strokes per 10,000 meters, give or take, an extra 100 to 200 depending on the length of your stroke, your effectiveness, your efficiency, so on and so forth. So I'm going to use a general number of 5,000 strokes to complete a marathon. 5,000 strokes, guys. If you have not been spending saddle time, meaning your butt is in the erg seat or the rowing machine seat, hinging back and forth, your hamstrings and your glutes are just going to be destroyed. So when it comes to butt comfort, there are a number of routes you can go. Number 1, you can get a foam pad, right? There are gel and foam pads made for erg seats. I'm going to assume that you don't have the ability to just run out to the store and pick one of these up, because it's a very specific item. You're probably going to have to order that online or out of some catalog somewhere back 20 years ago. The other option, and this one is always, people look at it there's no way, that sounds stupid, but it wins out every single time. And that is large bubble wrap. Go pick up a couple sheets. You can pick them up at any shipping store or maybe a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and just fold it. Get 2 sheets, sit on top of it. Maybe 1, just depends on how you feel. But bubble wrap. Air won't compress. The problem with gel and foam is that over time they're going to compress so that 20,000 meters or even 10,000 meters into this, you're just going to be sitting on the seat, but now you have like a thin layer of gel or foam in between you and the seat. That's really ineffective. Air, however, is not going to give up on that. So I love bubble wrap. It's ridiculous, but it's super efficient and it's not expensive, and you can go pick it up like that if you have to. So that is my suggestion for butt comfort. Prioritize the butt, please. Number 2, and this is the nutrition piece. There's a lot to unpack here. I have built out these charts that you're looking at that break down basically the caloric needs based off of pacing for lightweight and heavyweight male and female CrossFit Games athletes in a marathon. So you don't have to. Let's just take a quick look at what those caloric demands are and what athletes should be thinking about and how to replenish as they go. Generally, we are looking at a caloric load from a lightweight female at a 2:30 pace. So 135-pound female that rode a 2:30 pace for an entire marathon, their caloric demands are going to be down around 2,000 calories. Whereas a heavyweight male, 220 pounds in my book for this demonstration purpose, that was rowing a 150 pace, that would be aggressively fast for a CrossFitter. I'm assuming we're not going to find that. Would be up in the 3,300 range. So ranging from 2,000 to 3,300 calories burned during this marathon. That's an epic amount of energy burned that you're going to have to replace and pay attention to. So how do we do that? That's the ultimate question. So to address nutrition, we really need to look at 2 primary components. Number 1 is hydration. Number 2 is your caloric replenishment, making sure that you have enough calories to sustain energy levels throughout the piece. And then the hydration is so that you don't get dehydrated by the time the piece is done. So let's take a quick look at the charts that I drew up here. If you're a lightweight male, I'm calling that a 190-pound male CrossFitter doing a marathon, your caloric burn total for this marathon piece is going to range somewhere from 2,402 to 3,174 calories. Now, of course, these are rough calculations, but let's understand that is a massive amount of calories. We're talking 683 to 1,231, almost double calories per hour burned, and that's for a lightweight. If we were to move to a heavyweight male, we're talking 2,581 to 3,305 calories. For a lightweight female, we're talking 2,000 up to almost 2,800. And if it's a heavyweight female, we're talking 2,250 up to 2,898, almost 2,900 calories. That's a ton of calories burned over a short period of time. Now, to replace that many calories requires quite a bit of nutrition, and that's where it's important that athletes stay on the front and leading edge of their hydration nutrition. Ways that you can do that. Number 1, making sure that you have easily accessible and handy hydration close to you. Water, perhaps in a Camelback, or bottles sitting on like stands nearby so you don't have to reach or do any crazy movements, and that you can keep a constant supply going. On the nutrition side, this is the interesting part. There are a number of ways that you can replenish nutrition. Now, number 1, powdered drinks. This is where the Extreme Endurance Fuel 5 is an exceptional resource, is because it has so many of the carbohydrates that you need inside of this product that it is going to give you a lot of what you're looking for, a lot of what your body is looking for over the length of time that you need it. Now, it's about 200 calories per serving, and that's 2 scoops. If my math is correct, you're gonna need about 6 scoops every hour to stay on top of your nutritional needs. Now, that's a lot of powder to take in, but you can do that in different ways, perhaps making it as like a shot form so that you can shoot it really quickly, or if you do have a hydration system, making sure that you feed it in there so that is on constant drip supply for you. It was designed for the very purpose of intra-workout consumption, and so that is why they are the sponsor of this video, is because that is a huge opportunity and a great product to take when you're gonna need this caloric load. This is a great opportunity to do that. Other ways of going, you've got your goo packs, and then you have straight up old school eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and bananas as you go, keeping nutrition nearby, real food. Is that super feasible? It really depends. It depends on how much you sweat as you're working out, like how often you need to replenish, if you can handle flavors while you're working out, and if you plan on taking breaks. In my opinion, For this workout, take breaks. There is no glory in trying to push through because of everything that precedes it at the games. That's day one, and it's the fourth workout. There are 3 workouts before that have a huge demand on the body, and then you hit a marathon. Some people may want to push, but for the majority of athletes, I am thinking that they need to just stay lightly competitive, stay in the mix, so that they just don't bonk. And also because there are a lot of ramifications that are going to come from that marathon row. So it's really important that they're paying attention to the way that their bodies put out over the entirety of that piece. And I think the name of the game is going to be who can get away with the least amount of effort over the piece, so that they can just stay in fighting position and also survive for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when even more stuff is coming their way. Number 3, and this one is like, it seems kind of, I don't know, like I don't think a lot of people are going to think about this, but your hands, especially for CrossFitters, they're not going to have rowing calluses built up, nor should they. They're going to have great calluses on their hands. However, rowing is going to create a whole different type of blister and callus, and it's going to spiral once your hands get damp. So number 1 for your hands, sweat control. Think about a long wristband, perhaps like a sweatband on your forearm, to eat up some of the sweat that's rolling down from your arms. I'm suggesting that people wear shirts. Do wear shirts. Don't do this shirtless, because it's going to help capture some of that sweat that's going to want to roll down your arms from your armpits. And then tape your fingers. Tape around the joints. Like basically don't hit it on a joint, but tape around those joints and really have those hands covered in tape to avoid the skin being on that, the skin rubbing, as well as helping with that dampness factor. Save your hands, because if a games athlete tears open their hands, I mean, we're talking the potential for bloody blisters here, because it's 5,000 strokes, 5,000 times of your hands doing this as they get damp. If you open up a blister, it is not going to heal in one day, and it's going to set an athlete seriously back for the rest of competition. It's really critical that you make sure to hit that sweat management, hand management, if you will. Stay on top of that, because you need your hands the rest of competition. So that's number 3. Okay, I cheated. I said there were my top 3 tips, but I also have 2 little bonus points. Number 1 is the mental. This is going to be a massive mental game. And I think athletes need to come into this with a really steady perspective. You do not want to go into this just thinking that you're going to crush it and compete and head off the head of the peloton and try to just crush everyone. I don't think that that is the best method. Maybe somebody who's been practicing this and on the machine, and they're like, you know what, I've been hitting half marathons. I've hit a few of them. I'm super confident doing this. Okay, maybe, but you're the exception. Otherwise, you should be looking at this as, how do I mentally stay engaged, which is going to be a huge challenge, and how do I play a strong mental game, as in I am constantly checking in with my body to know what it needs, when it needs breaks, and that I'm listening and not trying to push that voice aside. Pushing that voice aside can be useful in shorter workouts, but over a workout like this, ignoring that, I think is going to be a bigger detriment than it is a help in this workout. Bonus number 2 is that this is really going to be a game of who can create the least inefficiencies. Who can be the most efficient mover on the machine, and not from a perspective of the most efficient is going, well, the most efficient will move faster, but over time your body's going to start to deteriorate, your posture is going to go, your hamstrings and your glutes are going to start to get weak and lose blood flow. And so with that, your goal is to create as much efficiency on the machine as you can, or eliminate inefficiencies. And then finally, as I've said before, plan your breaks ahead of time. You've got to do that. If you don't, you're just going to be running and hoping and praying that you can last over this piece, as opposed to coming to this with a strong game plan, being conservative on the front end, and if you've got some left in the tank, guess what? You can make a move with 10,000 meters to go. You'd be surprised how much you can do in 10,000 meters, because it's still 40 minutes of rowing left. Ugh. But think about that. If you prep for the first 30 and you're smart and you come in strong to the final 10, you will at least weed out some people who are not taking a strong approach to it, and you're gonna just further your position by being smart. So be smart. So let's review the 3 tips and 2 bonuses to helping you survive a marathon row. Number 1 is butt safety comfort, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that your butt's in a good position. Number 2 is your nutrition. Huge priority here. Take advantage of the planning and know your caloric loads. Follow the sheets that we've got here for guidance. I'm going to link to them below in the description so that you can see those and that you can hopefully use it to help you plan. Number 3 is hand management. Make sure that you're controlling sweat. Tape ahead of time. Be smart about your hands. And finally, the 2 bonuses, strong mental game. Go into it knowing what's coming, right? Stay engaged. And finally, cut down on inefficiency. So hopefully you've been practicing your mechanics, following our videos. Maybe you've used our program. If you haven't, check out darkhorserowing.com where you can find our programs which teach you to move and give you workouts to help you practice at the same time as getting more fit. Hopefully you've been using something like that to prepare you for really what is the longest workout in CrossFit Games history. We'll see how it goes. We'll probably come to you with a video after it's done and we'll debrief it and we'll see how that goes. But if you're planning on doing your own workout, try to use these tips. They will be effective for you, I promise, regardless of your skill level. So guys, as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to help us out, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And if you really love it, hit that bell right next to it so that you get alerted every time we come out with a new video. And as always, guys, thank you for tuning in. We will see you on the other side.